We now move on to a piece that's titled Bindis and Braids by my students who are representing ARPAN, as well as the SCARF dance team. The inspiration to choreograph this was the many, many conversations I had with my students as they grew up here in Washington, growing up with immigrant parents, what their experiences were. Every time they would come to class, they'll be like, Joyce auntie, XYZ happened, but I don't know how to handle this. Is this the right thing? Is this not the right thing? There is no right or wrong answer, and it's all about growing into the amalgam of who we all are in the melting pot of what makes United States so great. So Bindis and Braids is a result of many, many hours of workshopping and creativity from a group of first-generation Indian Americans. It shares the struggles of being stuck between two cultures, two identities, and two desires. And these often go unnoticed in the rat race to accomplish things in life. I'm going to invite Lahiri, Suhasini, Anya, Siona, and Meenal and Simrita to come up on stage and say a few lines about how they interpreted this piece. Concept and choreography is mine. Music production is by another student of mine, Vernela Kadavakollu, and the poem is by another student of mine, Astha Soni. So it's a teen production, you guys. Give them a round of applause.
Namaste, everyone. When I think of being an Indian American, I think of a teacher butchering someone's name and then the entire class starting to laugh. Then there's the internal conflict of whether you should correct the teacher or not, and I'm sure many of you have had similar experiences like this. These small incidents add up and are often ignored by us.
When I think of being Indian American, I think of feeling too Indian in American settings, but at the same time, feeling too American in Indian settings and finding it very difficult to find my place.
When I think about being Indian American, I think about being too American in the Indian setting around friends and family when I'm not able to fluently speak my mother's tongue and I'm feeling kind of disconnected.
When I think about being Indian American, I think about how it's hard for people like us to express both of our identities at the same time. Like if we were to wear cultural clothing at school, even though people might not say it to your face, you could probably feel the judgment.
When I think of being an Indian American, I think of waiting in the school lunch line hoping to get a cheese pizza, but finding that there are none left because the school generally provides less vegetarian options.
When I think of being an Indian American, I think of not being able to speak Hindi at school with my friends in fear of being judged by peers or classmates that think we're talking badly about them. And this piece really speaks to me because it highlights the mental struggle that Indian American teenagers face for not being able to fully fit into American culture outside of the home and fitting into Indian culture at home, and I find that really relatable.
This piece really dignifies not having to choose a side of being completely Indian or completely American and finding the balance in between.
This piece speaks to me because of how well it demonstrates the challenges that many Indian American teens and other immigrant children are facing while also having to face reality and navigating their different identities all at once.
This piece really speaks to me because it is really relatable for not just Indian Americans, but in a general immigrant teenagers living here in the US. And it is also made to demonstrate how it's important to love both identities and you can't just be one or the other.
This piece really speaks to me because it really depicts the daily struggle that not only me, but the Indian American community and just any first generation immigrant child goes through, and it shows our journeys to finding our identities and accepting both parts of our culture, which I find very meaningful.
The concept of Bindis and Braids really speaks to me because it shares the struggles of Indian Americans and other first-generation immigrant families and how these struggles are often unnoticed by other people. And this piece really helps us raise social awareness about this. Namaste, and we hope you enjoy.
What does it mean to be an Indian American? Is it wearing a bindi to school or jeans to the temple? Is it plaiting a thick braid or the ombre hair that looks simple? I am not brown, nor am I white. Their judgments create many internal fights. My culture dances behind my eyes. To fit in, I put a disguise. What does it mean to be an Indian American? Is it learning your mother's tongue? Or saying, I'm Indian, with a mumble? Is it covering your head in front of God? Or teaching others to say your name without a stumble? My culture, my home, my root. I love them so. But how can I show? I want to carry my culture with pride, but I am forced to walk with my tongue tied. What does it mean to be an Indian American? We are taught to cover our bodies and dress demurely. Yet, I want to be like my friends who flaunt their styles so surely. I do not belong here, nor there. But I'm judged. Is that fair or unfair? I desire to create my own home one day, but I worry what my family will say. I try to explain to my friends how I feel, but they say, what's the big deal? I fight a constant battle. But these struggles are too hard to conceal. What does it mean to be an Indian American? Is it forgetting my roots and growing a new tree? Is it trying to be different and not trying to be me? Why should I explain who I am? Why can't they let me be? I want the best of both worlds. Why can't they see? What does it mean to be an Indian American? Is it the red, white, and blue? Or my heritage that keeps me true? I walk a narrow tightrope. I will persist and not lose hope. So what does it mean to be an Indian American? It means to grow
and not react. To merge my worlds and learn to adapt. My Bindi will not be a topic to judge. I will move forward and not hold a grudge.
I am an Indian American.
I breathe in my new world, the land of the free.
But my culture will be with me, here for everyone to see.